Grand Rising, everybody. Today's been a tough one. Haven't been feeling too good. I don't know how many times I tried to do this. But anyway, the name of the channel is The Children. On YouTube, it's Joseph Hennessy 1161. But anyway, I'm on a mission to help transition us from the third to the fifth dimension, which is happening as we speak. And most people are unaware of what's happening. It's the end times, the apocalypse, and that's a fear-mongering word that they tried to scare us with, but in the Bible, the apocalypse means the Great Awakening. So that's what we're in the middle of right now, is the Great Awakening. Are you going to wake up and realize where you live and what they do to you and who's really running this planet? That we don't live by God's standards, we live by Saint Michael, which is called Lucifer, who was cast out of heaven. Guess where he ended up? And he's running the shit show, but he's losing grip really fast. He's down to his last couple of power moves, trying to start wars. I'm sure that there'll be a few new COVID variants coming out pretty quick, and they're going to have a UFO scare where they're going to say that they're coming down to terminate us, which is not true, because if they were coming down to terminate us, they would have done that a long time ago. And if UFOs weren't in existence 75 years ago, how come they are now? Because they've been hiding it from us. Area 51, Sedona, Arizona, a lot of spiritual, mystical things happen in that area because it's part of the Pleiadian Triangle, part of old Lemuria, because Lemuria and Atlantis were real places. They were just flooded and covered in sediment, like it always happens when human gets to this stage in their elevation where they start using technology for bad instead of good. People like Elon Musk, pure evil. Like I keep saying, Donald Trump, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. That's all I'll say about that. So I haven't been feeling too well the last few days, and it feels like I've had the flu, which most people would call COVID, but I call it Ascension symptoms because we're changing. We're taking in source energy from the sun, which is light codes, which is changing our DNA, which is changing our structure, our molecular structure, from carbon to crystalline, where it's going to unlock the rest of our brain and the rest of our DNA. So we are truly who we are meant to be on this planet. We are so powerful, we just don't know it, and they don't want us to know it. They tell us that we're just worthless simpletons or just one and done. You just came here to pay taxes and be a slave and do what you're told, which is not God. That's Lucifer. That's a slave system. Over and over again, I say everything's dirty: water, air, food, entertainment, everything, education. It's all manipulation, about keeping the sheep in control, in line, in formation. But they're losing. All they have is fear-mongering. And I'm sure there's going to be some UFO attack coming where they say they're coming down to kill us, but that's not happening. This is a free will planet. There's hundreds of other civilizations out there. They're all watching. But it's a closed system. It's a free will planet. It's a test planet. The fifth dimension and above is high frequency. There is none of this garbage that we came here to experience. We came here to have a human experience. The darkness versus the light. Good versus the evil. Because where you come from, it doesn't exist. Duality. And God knows there's a lot of duality. They divide us every way they can. We need to realize that we're all just the same, except for the skin and the paint job. We're all God's children. He loves us all. He wants us to have abundance, be sovereign, be free, no work. Money is not an issue. In His universe, we don't need money. Plenty of abundance on this planet. But it's going to change, and it's changing. It's just a matter of us coming together as a collective. And we're doing it. More and more people are waking up every day. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. For me, it's always too slow. But I'm grateful we're doing this. This evil place is going bye-bye. It's going to be a beautiful metropolis. Everybody will love everybody. Nobody will judge anybody. Everybody will look out for everybody like God wants us to do. So anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to speak about Ascension symptoms, which feel like flu symptoms. And the last thing I'm going to do is run down to a doctor, because I don't do that. I never have. I let my immune system do its thing. And when I start feeling kind of shitty, I exercise. Probably don't drink enough water, but I exercise because I'm going to get it out of my body one way or another. They want to give you pills or flu shots or COVID-19 vaccines, which makes no sense to me. Why would you let them inject you with something that's not in your system? There's no common sense to that for me, so you might have a different take on that, but that's okay. So I'm having Ascension symptoms. I just feel like I've been beat over the head, but that's just part of the process. I exercise, I get some extra rest, I try to eat better, but I think part of the problem is I was fasting and I was probably exercising way too much while I was trying to fast. So it's probably overriding my circuits a little bit, and with all the light codes coming into my heart and soul, my body just got a little bit overloaded, and it told me to shut it down. So I feel much better today. I didn't need to go to the doctor, and I never go to the doctor because they don't fix anything. All they do is create more problems. I saw something the other day about sudden infant deaths, that 74% of the kids are dying 2 and 3 days after wellness checks. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm seeing it from my own eyes. I have no trust in the American Medical Association. There was no skin cancer 50 years ago. And what did they invent? Sunblock. It's just unbelievable. Doctors used to promote cigarettes like they were good for you in the 1960s. And people bought it up. It's all programming. When have we had enough of the programming? But it's coming to an end. It's just a matter of time, people. And one last thing I want to talk about is, in one of my last videos there, I was talking about my buddy from Gilead, the kid who introduced himself to me, and he probably wished he never had. And I shared this: remdesivir killed most of the people who had COVID in the retirement home in 2021 or 2020. And I ran into him after the fact, after I was cut off by somebody who worked in the American Medical Association. And he was okay with the conversation we had. But like I said, I asked him one question about Gilead. I said, "Do you do tech for Gilead?" He said no. And I knew the answer was going to be yes on the second question when I asked him, "Are you a scientist?" And he said yes. And he's probably kicking himself up and down for introducing himself to me. I don't know if God put him in my life or what. I don't know who it benefits to bring that to his attention when he already knows what remdesivir did. And he's a scientist, and he says he didn't know anything about COVID-19 injuries or deaths. And I find that very, very, very hard to believe. How can you be part of that institution and not know that? But the one thing he did check, when I said Gilead made buses, he did check that. You think you would have checked on the COVID-19? But he didn't try to rebut anything that I said to him. He just looked at me. They know what they did. I know what they did. And you're going to learn what they did. And you're not going to be too happy. But you're supposed to forgive these people because a lot of these people didn't know what they did. It's all part of the program, the matrix. They thought they were helping. There's a lot of good people out there who think they're doing good things, but they're not. But it's being broken down one step at a time. And like I said, the deep state is on their last few moves. They're finished. They're trying to impeach Donald Trump again. It's just the same game, playbook, over and over. It's not going to work. American people are too wise. All the false flags, don't buy them. Just send everybody love and light, even people that you dislike. That's what God tells you to do. Just forgive them because He forgives them. And they all would be given the opportunity to make amends. God forgives everybody. He forgave me, and I've done a lot of bad things. And here I am today, a messenger for Him. Grateful, humble. Don't let them bring you down. Stop watching the news. It's just all to bring your frequency down. Send people you don't like love and light. They hate it. They want us to be miserable 24/7. They love it. Luciferians, the lizards, the deep state, the royal families, the Rothschilds, all the billionaires, they're all the same. They don't care about us. They're self-serving, and people like you and me are service to others, not service to self. We win. Just remember, all you did is come here as a spiritual being, to be a human, to help fix and guide humanity to the fifth dimension, which is unconditional love, authenticity, abundance, freedom, joy. You do whatever you want. Work is an option. Money is not necessary. It never was. If she wouldn't have never taken a bite out of that apple, we wouldn't be where we are today. It's just that simple. All the things we eat today make us sick. All the things that we should be eating cure everything so we wouldn't get sick. But they got rid of that before 1910. The Rockefellers and the Carnegies got rid of all the holistic healing, true healing, not scalpels and sutures and drugs and operating rooms. It was never meant to be. But it's going bye-bye because we're going to be able to heal ourselves. We can do a lot of things that we don't realize that we were meant to do. It's going to come from the other 10% or 10%, the other 90% of your brain, and the other 90% of the DNA that you don't use. It's going to be unlocked, people. It's just a matter of time. Send everybody love and light. Everybody have a blessed day. And if you don't feel good, don't go to the doctor because they're not going to be able to do anything for you. Probably having Ascension symptoms. Just get out, exercise, drink plenty of water, and rest. You'll be fine. We're headed to the promised land. Bye.